We know poverty is sexist.
What is going on, my fellow men? Today is another sad day in the world of feminism, and honestly, another sad day in the world of common sense, because apparently we do not have any anymore. Here's another example of why feminism and feminists do not get the point of equality. They do not understand what this world is all about. New moving video proves why poverty is sexist. Poverty affects millions of people around the world, but women and girls are hit the hardest. A moving, new 1-minute video by One, a campaigning and advocacy organization aiming to end extreme poverty and preventable disease, proves why. While the topics of gender equality have been a hot topic for a number of years, there is nowhere on earth where women have the same opportunities as men, the group says. And it's a huge problem. We want this video to be a clear message that issues like child marriage and girls' access to education must be included in the call for gender equality. All right, so let's go take a look at the video that they put out. All right, so there we go. You know what? I just fucking can't deal with this shit anymore. It's very, very easy to manipulate any type of statistic, any type of video to suit your political agenda, and that is exactly what these people are doing. They conveniently neglect pretty much everything, right? The main core reasons behind a lot of what they show in that video. I know that they show a lot of African women, and of course they do not mention in the video about their completely oppressive, tyrannical governments that they are under, such as Zimbabwe's Mugabe, right? They conveniently forget to portray that. But let's gloss over that and get back to this article. In sub-Saharan Africa, girls without an education are 5 times more likely to be married by the time they are 18. They later penned in the entry. They are 7% less likely to complete secondary education than boys, and are less likely to be given the opportunity to participate in or contribute to their country's economies. According to 130 million girls around the world are currently not enrolled in school. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau shared similar views last year when he made a statement saying, "Poverty affects women and girls differently," and declared that he will stand as a leader for the cause. And I don't know if you guys know this, I am from Canada, and having this fucking idiot as our prime minister is a complete disgrace. As a feminist, I know that women must be treated equally everywhere, Trudeau said. And here's also a video that Trudeau put out, so let's take a look at that one.
We know poverty is sexist. Our societies cannot succeed without the full participation and empowerment of women and girls. And by working with the Global Fund to eliminate AIDS, TB, and malaria, we're taking an essential step towards a fair world for women and girls, and indeed for all of our most vulnerable. So today, I am challenging you to step up. Canada is challenging you to step up. We have pledged over $800 million to the Global Fund for 2017 to 2019.
That's my fucking tax money too. What a prick.
And we're honored not only to host this conference, but also to champion the important work being done to fight these epidemics. This is our responsibility.
Piss off. I just can't stand having this guy as our prime minister. Every single day he's wasting more and more of our taxpayer money. But regardless, that's not really what this article is about. But Justin Trudeau has continuously put himself out there as this like beacon of light and hope for feminists and equality and all this. Again, just like the feminist movement that he claims to be a part of, he conveniently forgets what the real reason or what the real meaning of equality is. And it's quite sad because he's our prime minister and he's supposed to know this kind of shit, but apparently he doesn't. Anyways, so the point of this article, and I wanted to touch on this, is that, these types of statistics and all these, made up things that feminists like to come up with are essentially bogus, right? They're essentially meaningless. And there's a saying that there's lies, damned lies, and then statistics. And basically anything that you want can be perverted and manipulated into something that suits your political agenda. And that's what we're seeing here. So I did a very quick little bit of research here to come up with a list of ways that men are discriminated in society, right? And there's a point of this. I'll let you guys know at the end. So let's get started. Men live shorter lives than women. Women live 81.2 years compared to men's 76.4. The incidence of coronary heart disease is 3 times higher among men. Male suicides outnumber female suicides in every age group, making homicide and suicide the top 3 causes for death among males between the ages of 15 and 34. Men on average receive 63% longer jail sentences than women for the same crimes. More men than women die on a job, on a work site. Most of the homeless population are men. And last but not least, over 40% of victims of severe physical domestic violence, and I'm not excusing the other 60% that are women. That's obviously a terrible thing. But 40% of victims of severe domestic violence are men, but 99.3% of shelter spaces for those who suffered domestic abuse are for women. So the point of that, my quick little research thing, is not to cry and wail on like a feminist does. It's to point out the fact that in every single aspect of life, and here's the key point, in every single aspect of life, there are places and points where men will have the short end of the stick, and there are places where women will have the short end of the stick. And that is not sexist. That is generally a fact of biological choices that men and women make, right? We don't see feminists complaining about men or not enough women working in the sewers of New York, right? That's a male-dominated job, but we don't see women complaining about that. Conversely, we don't see men complaining about the overrepresentation of women in crochet classes, right? We don't see men complaining about that. Nor do we see men complaining about the fact that the majority of nurses, especially in Canada, are women. We don't see men complaining about that, right? Again, the point of all this is, for every single point that a feminist can bring up, regardless of whether or not they're true or complete bullshit like this one is, there can be a counter argument made in the favor of men. Now, why are men not making these counter arguments, you may ask? Simply because we don't give a shit, right? We don't give a shit. We have matured to the point where we understand that men are suited to do certain things and women are suited to do other things. That is not a sexist reality. That is a fact of life, right? And for some, it's very difficult to accept, right? Especially for feminists, especially for social justice warriors. They just can't get over the fact that there are certain aspects of life where women, may not have the same role as a man, right? They just cannot get past that. They cannot move on with their lives. So that is really the point of this video. It is completely ridiculous. This title, Poverty is Sexist. I swear, every single fucking day there is a new thing. This is sexist. That is sexist. You're sexist. Everything is sexist. I don't know when they're going to stop with this shit, but hopefully we're starting to have a backlash, and maybe one day all this feminist bullshit will go away. Anyways, if you guys like that video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, give me a comment. I read all the comments anyways if you guys didn't know that. But apart from that, I'll see you guys in the next video.
If they smoke, I'm turned off. If they drink, I'm out of there. If they're stupid, I'm bored. If they're mean, I'm bored. If they're trying to use me, I'm out of there. So I guess I'm very picky. If they don't work out, I'm not interested. If the mind is lazy and the body's lazy, who cares?